What's up, y'all? It's Tim. Welcome back. I have a guest with me. His name is Ghost. Um, he didn't want to leave me alone, so he's hanging out for the video. So today we're going to choose one of these sketches, and we're going to turn it into a final. I can't show you. Watch the video. Alright, what's up, y'all? So we're looking at this stuff right here. Basically, I want to take one of these and just try to bring it to a more realized thing. These sketches I did last night. Let me see if I can find the pin. Give me 1 second. You'd figure I'd be more prepared, but no. I just kind of go with the flow on this. So this is actually a Sharpie marker. It's like an acrylic based brush pen. It's pretty cool. They're opaque too, so like if you have, I don't know, like a purple, all right, let's do a purple, you can go over, right? It has a yellow in its little like base kit, but it's not the most opaque, I guess, as most yellows are. It can work, but it's a little inconsistent sometimes. But these are cool. Picked them up from my local Walmart just when I was grabbing groceries and stuff. Alright, so as you can see, what we've got 16 different little sketches here. 6 I think is pretty cool. He kind of, I don't know, he feels like a very feminine cowboy that will whoop your ass. Oh, that was my timer. Sorry, y'all. I don't know why. I meant to set that timer for 9. Not that time. Alright, regardless, back to it. Alright. So, number 6 right here. Pretty cool. For me personally, I'm interested in 4 or 10. 9's kind of funky looking. I stacked all these on top of each other. I kind of didn't care too much if they overlapped. This was just kind of, I've been working on toilet paper trash, my upcoming comic. I have a couple like concept art videos already out on the channel. I haven't shown much of the comic yet, but once I get to the inking stage, I'll show y'all. But after I was done with the day, I still wanted to draw the other day. So I just threw on a draw sessions video. If you don't know who that is, he's on YouTube. Bobby Rebels, I think that's how you say his last name. He's a creature designer. He's worked on a lot of like movies, games. And he pretty much just like does this all day long on his YouTube channel, which is amazing. Just hang out and draw. Something I'm trying to capture to a degree. I'm choosing one to bring up to a higher detail, right? Like you can see these are not like the most detailed, right? They're quick sketches, right? They're just, the anatomy may be a little broken, the robotics a little broken, whatever. But it's, in this stage, it's more about the silhouette and exploration. And now I'm about to bring it up to still not necessarily a finished level, but something a little bit more polished, kind of like a, I don't know, a better sketch, I guess you could say. So I'm gonna start. I could start 2 directions, right? I could start with pencil, or I could start with, I got this big old bag of ohuhu markers. You don't see me use color very much on this channel, but I love color. It's something, I love markers, watercolor. I play a little bit with acrylic, gouache. I kind of use gouache and watercolor together simultaneously, like James Gurney. we're gonna grab a light marker, right? This is a big old mix of Prismacolor, Ohuhu, some like weird brands like Master Touch. I'm feeling like a decent. I'm gonna do this robot, right? I'm gonna do number 4. Okay. So if I want to have kind of like a base color, I could use some type of blue, or even a green. And I kind of like PM 167 right here. So I'll just grab that real quick. PM 167. Boom. Got a whole bunch of stuff in here, right? Like a touch new, like whatever the heck you are. My buddy, we called him Bill. He was Chinese. He was here during art school. His real name is Yu Wang, but his American name was Bill. He, before he left and moved back to China, he gave me all of his supplies. He couldn't really take anything with him, so I was, I came up with a whole bunch of ohuhu and other stuff, and I went from like maybe 40 markers to like 300. So, Bill, much love to you, bro. Much love. I don't get to talk to him much anymore. I think like he was talking to me on Instagram, but not anymore. I think perhaps Instagram is not like working anymore over there. I don't know. But alright, we're playing with 4, right? So let's just see. Okay, so you're pretty light. Alright, let's compare it to like, let's throw in a Sharpie mark and just see. Okay, so you're light enough, right? You're kind of like a mid-tone. So I'm just using this to sketch number 4. I don't know if I want to do the same pose or not. I'm not very good at mech stuff, so this may be a failure. So I guess we'll find out right there. But the idea is like I've been drawing a lot of construction equipments by my job raising canes. They're building a Taco Bell, and it's literally like right behind my work. So they have all this equipment that I'm just able to sketch on my bricks, and that has helped a little bit with machinery type of stuff. I don't know if I like this mark. We're just kind of exploring a little bit more from this. Oh, that's my cat's playing with a ping pong ball. My son thought it was a good idea to throw these colorful ping pong balls all over the floor, and now they belong to my cats. One thing I'm trying to get an idea of so far is like, where's the perspective, right? If my feet are down here, right, we could say it's probably like the horizon line's like maybe right there. So I'd see a little bit into here, or I could push it up just a little bit more. I might push it up a little bit more so this is flat, but I see into here, right, into these parts. Right, I think that's gonna work pretty well for us. So how's y'all's day going? Right, for me, I haven't done much today. Just went and played outside with my kid. He's 3 years old, and we finally got some good weather here in Ohio. So it's been really nice being able to just go outside. Went to my grandfather's house, and he's got a pretty decent sized backyard. Kind of fenced in. The fence has fallen apart in a lot of spots, but it's safer than where I live, right? Like, we play outside where I live, but there's always cars, and I'm just always kind of in attention mode, like scared. But at my grandpa's house, I can kind of let go a little bit more, because it's a little bit more safer to just let him go. So we did that, cleaned up the house a little bit. Sorry, I'm thinking about like these control sticks. Right, maybe they're kind of like, have you guys seen those zero turn lawnmowers? Right, they kind of got these handles that you push forward, backward, turn. Right, maybe that's what we use here. So I'm like, it feels futuristic, but it's simplistic at the same time. Alright, so if you're up there, we're kind of seeing under. Right, if we build that box, maybe not that far, because he could be looking down. Alright, and I kind of like the idea that he's kind of just on this chair. So, excuse the ping pong balls. My house is, I have 4 cats and a kid and a dog, so there's just always stuff happening, and I'm too poor to soundproof my room right now. And they always love coming to my studio door, so I could cut, but I don't have time to cut because I work a very specific timing. So yeah, we're just gonna have to, deal with it, I guess. Alright, so we kind of got an overall idea of what's happening. What are these? I feel like there's some type of tubes. Alright, I'm gonna pause for a second because they're right up. Alright, sorry. Had to go take away the fun from my kittens. They were not happy with me. But man, they were like right up against the door. I got 3 kittens and the mama cat, and all 3 of the kids were just right there at the door. I feel like this should come down a little bit lower. Okay, so I've kind of got like a base. Does this make sense? I don't know. It all feels very straight like that. Maybe this comes out some more. Right, maybe. This does cover it, right? That's its own plane, covering it. So these are kind of going there, and they're kind of at an incline. So perhaps, like, you could say the perspective, right? If you guys know how to do incline, it's like, I forget how to line it up, but it's basically like, oh, okay, so we do something diagonal towards that way, right? It's got to kind of fit within the perspective already kind of given. It's actually kind of fun right there. This is pretty much like the fun exploration of the design, right? It's definitely not looking polished right now. Ideally, it'll look polished in like the next 20 minutes. I'm not good at like figuring out what's in here, right? Like what's on these arms, right? Like there's probably some piston base thing, so it kind of can move and contrast like that. So it'd probably be some type of straight pipings right here that come in, and then you kind of go in there, right? If I think about the construction equipment I've been drawing, it's all kind of these simple balls on the outside that connect to something, usually hidden, I'm thinking these are some type of straps. Maybe that hold this like cargo. All right. They're transporting something. So why would they need this machine to transport this? Maybe it's like a hostile environment. All right. Maybe it's kind of like lava or something. All right. So I don't know how to draw lava, but it's kind of just like molten ground, right? So it's kind of flowy, almost like water, but not water. Like I know what sometimes it'll dry up, especially towards the ends, right? Kind of get these like ballish shapes. So we could just throw in some lava here, and maybe there's a volcano in the distance. I don't know, I might cut that part out because I am not doing a full scene here. But maybe there's just something, right, like it's flowing down into the picture. Alright, so I kind of just use this marker as like my sketch. Man, there's another ball. Okay, gosh. Okay, I gotta stop. Alright, so we're back. They found another ping pong ball. Why do I have so many ping pong balls? Well, before I had a kid, we would have some parties. Not so much anymore. They're kind of like remnants of the past, basically. Alright, so I kind of used like the marker like a pencil. The beauty of using kind of like a lighter mid-tone, preferably you'd want something really light. It will slowly disappear, like not completely, but it's like your mind's going to focus more on the pen mark than it will the color, so it'll kind of become like this artifacting accent, basically, which is one of the ways I love to sketch around. So we're just going to grab some tools here, right? I love this pen. I love the way I can get marks with it. If you guys have watched some of my videos, you've already know I use that pen quite a bit. We'll pull out a Sharpie, but this is kind of like a blunt tip Sharpie. I don't know if I want that. I mean, it could work. You know, my main workhorse is brush pen, right? It's a natural hair brush with a reservoir. You see a lot of like inkers using it. Let's see what else I got over here. I don't want to get up and move, so I'm just looking at when I got some marker stuff, right? I got some Prismacolor, so I got one with it's a felt tip pen, brush pen, and then I got one with a chisel. So I could probably do pretty much all the work with these. I probably won't even use all of these. I just grab like a smaller micron. That's a 5. I don't want that. A 2. That should work. So 2. Okay, so that's all my tools. You know what? I can use this eraser up here to kind of hold all the stuff. All right, and I might bring in some more colors. Like I haven't shown a lot of color on this channel, which sucks because color is what I love. We're gonna go on with this. It's a Prismacolor, just a black, with the brush tip, and it's got a little bullet tip. Sometimes I use the bullet tip. I know not a lot of like marker artists use the bullet tip too much, but if you're using it for like line work, there is definitely a case for it, right? So I'm just going to pick an area to start, and actually I am going to pull out the bullet tip as well. I know this kind of dries out the marker a little, holding it like this with both of them open. But it's okay for me. So this is going in, coming out, right? We'll probably have some type of markings here. Oh my god, there goes the cats again. I wonder if you guys could hear that. I think they just body slammed each other into my door. They kind of are always trying to get in here. Only one of them I actually let in here though. His name is Ghost. He's a all-white male cat. He's the bigger of them all. He's the I guess you could say kind of like the big male. He's my favorite because he loves to cuddle. The other ones don't like to cuddle as much. But I named him Ghost after Jon Snow's wolf from Game of Thrones. I just thought it was kind of cool. Right, I'm kind of like jumping back and forth between them. I don't really know why. But I am. Where's the light coming from? Well, if this is lava, there's probably some light coming, bouncing up. And then I could just go simple, have some light over. So like right here, there'll probably be like a little bit of like gray, not a lot. I want this pan. I'm kind of thinking like Ian McKay. But he's a concept artist. Kind of does all these like little spaceship, like floating boat type of things. Pretty cool, in my opinion. Well, it's not just my opinion. A lot of people say he's like one of the best concept artists. So there's that. Will I capture his style? Hell no. I'm not even looking at a reference of him. I've just been looking at him more recently for some stuff in toilet paper trash. But I know he'll make some things look perfect, some things look not saying the art is janky, but he'll make it look janky, make it look kind of thrown together, right? Which has a beauty to it. Almost like a space redneck threw it all together. And if you know any country people, they can make stuff happen. That's for sure. Got a lot in my family. They're like construction people and stuff like that, and I've been to their house, seen just like a lot of cool stuff they've been working on. So you give them the power of sci-fi, boom, who knows what could happen. Maybe this is like number one. Maybe what if he's like this writer is the first one trying to embark upon this lava journey. That could be fun. Does that one look like a one? Kind of. It doesn't necessarily matter too much. So like trying to get thin lines with this like felt tip is, I feel like it's harder than with like a natural hair. That's probably because I've just trained with the natural hair more. I don't really know why I'm using this. I just kind of am. Just let it happen. Right. At the end of the day, this is a warm up, so it's like, don't worry too much. Right. Try to make it look polished as best as you can. I swear I always end up sniffling when I come into the studio, or more of when I start recording. I don't know, maybe it's the recorder's curse, maybe. I don't know. But I always end up sniffling. But yeah, at the end of the day, this is just like a warm up, right? Like, this is idea generating, right? Or more of like trying to refine an idea to get it closer to something real, right? So it's like, you don't have to worry too much about, is this possible? Like, this is not going in my portfolio, right? This is something more of just for fun. Oh, now it kind of looks like a monster. But I try to do a warm up every day right before I start like my more serious work. Of course, it's a way to get the brain working, get the brain kind of thinking about art. But I feel like it's also just a way to get kind of personal stuff going as well, right? Like, I mean, I'm not a pro, so all my stuff is just personal work at this point, but like, you have your more serious personal work and kind of like this, right? So for all of you artists out there, basically what I'm trying to say is do warm-ups. Do warm-ups. Try to make them as polished as you can, but like, at the end of the day, don't stress too hard about a warm-up. It's more of an exploration of things. So this whole surface is curved, so there'll probably be a little bit of like graying, right? Some hatching. I think I'm actually going to switch to the other pin now, just for a little bit. I can get a kind of a difference in line, right? Let's get a little bit of ink in there. Oh, well, we'll just roll with it, right? You could smudge it, try to save those dots, or you just roll with it, right? I'm just going to roll with it. All right, so these are all kind of wrapping, right? And then under here is probably a little bit of a thicker line. Right. I found in my very limited sketching of construction equipment, sometimes there's just like little holes, not like rust holes, but I mean, of course there are some of those, but like, just maybe they're like vent holes or something. It's I'm sure there's a function for it all, but my brain can't comprehend that. So I just try to take that idea, that philosophy, and bring it into this stuff. I want to stay away from these dots because they're going to be wet for probably a long time. All right, they're going to be wet for a while. Well, I didn't want that line to be that dark, but it's all good, right? So I'm kind of creating some like paneling here. Maybe it's slightly broken down paneling. Sometimes I can pull the lines towards me. I know that's most people kind of push. I can push too. But pulling towards me, I can sometimes make it a little bit more consistent. Not all the time, but sometimes. I'm just going to darken that. Maybe make a little bit of a lighter edge. Right, maybe it's like, this is probably the side, right? So going back into, right, back here is the horizon line. So kind of go up, and then up here it's kind of going down. All right, so we're kind of getting this funneling. That's kind of how I try to like think about my perspective when I'm not plotting out a grid and everything. This is always the hard one for me, trying to pull completely sideways. Ideally I'd want to turn it to where I can push it more like that. Okay, so we're going to do this leg right here. And this leg, it's in lava, and I have no idea what that looks like, right? You could assume that perhaps it'd be a little bit like water, but not as flowy, right? Maybe it's a little bit more like circular. Still flowy, but not as flowy as like, it's a little bit more sticky, maybe. Of course, I could be bullshit, and I have no idea. But I could pull up some reference, but I'm not. So yeah, I could pull up some like reference of what lava looks like, and if this was for a client, I would have already have done that. But it's for me, and I just don't feel like it right now. That's probably not the best excuse, but that's where we're at, right? Like, I'm just going to kind of try to brainstorm it. Maybe I play with the idea of these circles, right? But bring it right here. Right. I don't know what they are. They could be some type of jewel, or perhaps they're kind of like a window into the whatever the joint would be, right? And what that joint would probably be going like this, right? Kind of like a hand moving, so it could kind of pick up. So it may not be the window to the joint, because I don't think the joint would be that way. I mean, it could, right? Like this ball joint, maybe. It could. I don't know. I'm not very versed in mechanical things. I've been trying to play around more with them this year, hence why we're doing this one. Right, I could have done some of the others from that page that I'm more comfortable with, but I'm trying to always learn some new skills. I don't know if blackening all that was the best route to go, but it is the route that I took, so there we go. Right. I know once you kind of like that, and we'll probably keep this piston looking thing right here. Maybe we'll try to explain some of this a little bit. Alright, so now you guys probably hear the shower. Again, nothing I can do about that. It's my wife taking a shower. My son fell asleep, so now she gets to be able to worry about her a little bit, which is good. Right, you gotta take advantage of that when you have a kid. So, this is the front plate, right? If I think about it like that. it does turn. So maybe I get some of this feathering, right? Trying to show that it does turn. Right, maybe you're here, kind of just like another, I don't know, some type of little bar. Maybe there's some like paneling right here, right? So if I think about that over here, we probably got that little bar facing this way, right? We could explain it a little bit more. Could maybe show that it's kind of connecting here a little bit. And then, alright, make this rounded. I actually might want to blacken just most of it, right? Maybe even bring it up to here. And I'll come in with white to bring up some of this, and maybe I'll even do a little bit with the red, that red Sharpie that I had. I know I want to leave this kind of line right here, kind of this like reflection light. Does it need to be the same distance? I don't think so. Not through the whole piece. Like I could break it up a little bit, especially like into here. Alright, I don't think it'd be wise to darken this whole area. So I'm just going to kind of hatch it. Right, using these kind of contour hatches. So in my pursuit to try to get a little bit better at mechanical stuff, I've been watching some Gundam. And I've been watching Blood Iron Orphans. It's been a very fun thing so far. I'm on season 2 now. Enjoying it. Is it my first Gundam? No. I grew up like during like the Toonami like age where they was showing Gundam. I had no idea what all was happening, what Gundam I was watching, but I've watched some before, but I've never sat down and watched like a full series. So it's been pretty fun kind of getting into that world, and I've really enjoyed Blood Iron Orphans. Who's my main character? Who's my favorite character from there? I really like Orga. Of course, I really like Biscuit as well. But if you know, you know. That episode did make me tear up a little bit. I guess I kind of spoiled it to a degree, but it did come out in 2014. So I don't think we should be talking, like, I don't think I should be hush-hush about something that came out in 2014. Like, come on now. Should I darken all of this? I feel like we do that line to kind of show that. I don't think I like make it full black. I think I make it like that, so it shows right, a little bit of like movement in there, a little bit of directionality in there. So what do I do with this back end? Right, Right, and do these even look the same? They don't. So I could bring you up a little bit and that might solve it. Maybe we'll put a little bit of like paneling here. Alright, let's work on this back leg, right? Again, lava, so it's kind of flowy. It's kind of like flowy mud almost, right? So I kind of feel like it's more bulbous, at least what I can like picture in my brain of lava, right? Especially as it kind of dries. And well, it could be like almost, it could be like trying to dry immediately on this stuff. Which could be interesting. Alright, let's go back. So we now have what for the legs, right? We got one facing us. We've got one facing pretty much profile, right? And this one, I might have like a 3/4, so the circle would be kind of like that, basically. And this little part, I've only showed it on one side. Is it on both sides? It could be, right? It could be. So the sort of that little part would probably be like right here, right, coming towards us. We'll probably see the top of it a little bit, right. But yeah, okay, so back to Blood Iron. If you guys have watched it, you can spoil season 2 in the comments if you want. It doesn't really, I don't care too much about spoilers. Like I knew what was going to happen to Biscuit, but that didn't stop me from enjoying the character and then experiencing it, right? So it's like, I guess it can take out a little bit of like the shock value, you know, spoilers, but it still doesn't take away the experiencing of it, for me at least, you know. I wonder if you guys can hear that TV. It's pretty loud. Probably not. My camera, well, my audio system, my recording device is overall pretty decent. I think I should really focus on explaining this leg. That way it could kind of connect the dots of the rest of them. Now, I have no idea where they're all connecting to, right? Some type of system inside of the machine. If I can darken that one, I could say boom. I don't want to bring a whole lot of shadow into this side. I just want to leave it just a little Just a little bit. Alright, so let's say there's another one of these back here, right? I kind of sketched it in already. So that one connects it like this. Maybe this one goes under. Alright, so I kind of get these lines. Even though the light's coming up, this is more of trying to explain that it's under this form. So I guess you could say it's kind of like a cast shadow in a way. And what we could really show this. And we'll probably want to bring in some of this now. Alright, I don't expect them to come too far over here. These tubes. I guess this is almost like something from oh, what's that game? PlayStation exclusive robot dinosaurs. Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, this is something kind of like that, right? Kind of like it. I do think we should build this panel out over here. Right, you're way above, so it's like I can, this could kind of say it's like kind of at an angle, I guess you could say. Right, we might put some more branding on here. Right. I noticed that with like the construction equipment, they don't play about their branding, bro. They do not. There's like 6 or 7 stickers all telling you who it's from, or like the like unit number. They do not play about that. Right, so what I said it was number 1, but now it's looking like it's number 10, which I'm fine with. That is a-okay for me. You can be number 10. That means there was 9 others before you. And we're going to switch to this little guy right here. We'll do what's a fun little number? Well, we can use 4. Well, we'll do 10 and 7. Alright, so we'll just put a 4, 10, 7. Right, maybe this is like a little sticker. Right, that's one thing I noticed with all the construction equipment is all the little stickers. Alright, so this area is getting a little weird. Like what's all going on in there? What's all happening? What we could contour hatch it, and maybe do it really tight, so like darkens it, but doesn't compete with that dark, and still gives information on form. Alright, so I could do that, and I could go back in and I don't know what, we could go back in and darken parts that don't make sense, right? Like right here, or maybe like do the Kim Jong-gi, kind of get a little bit of fading in there, right? Especially in like, I feel like the further up I get, the more darker I can be, right? Where's this panel start? Maybe right here. I tell you one thing, I don't see a lot of people working this loose with mechanical stuff, and I would love to see it. So if you guys know people who kind of work loose like I do, but do mechanical stuff, let me know. I do already know about the guy that worked on Metal Gear Solid, the Inkwork guy. Oh, what is his name? I got a little folder of like his stuff that I really enjoy. Though I found it's hard finding real stuff. If you know a good resource for that, let me know, because I'm always trying to figure out, is this actual art made by them or is this AI? And you know, depending on the artist, it's either easy to tell or it's hard, right? Like I got this, I wouldn't even call him a buddy, I know this guy. We're a CCAD family, spread apart by like a decade. His name is Ian Moss. His work is beautiful, but boy did AI take his style. Almost everything he does, it's like, well, shit, this kind of looks like AI. And that's a damn shame, right? I feel like he's still getting work and whatever, like it doesn't really matter too much. At the end of the day, AI, it's like, it's going to do some things, of course, but our eye as an artist is always going to be more developed than, like, let's say like the owner of the company, right? Like our eye is going to be more developed than theirs, right? So even if we have to use AI, whatever, we'll still be able to figure it out, right? No, the world's going to get weird. We'll see how it all ends up for professionals. But back to Ian. Alright, I'm pretty sure my camera cut out on all of that, which sucks, but that is apparently the life with this camera. I feel like it's every 20 minutes it just stops. Right, the battery's not even dead on it, it just stops. And it's very frustrating. Very frustrating. I feel like we should just simplify some of this, right? So, if my camera did cut off, no idea where my tangent conversation was. Sorry about that. But we're here. It may have cut off. I don't know. All I know is I looked up and it was no longer showing the time. Normally it tells me like how long it's been recording. Oh, you're still wet. How are you still wet? That's crazy. I mean, I've messed that up a little bit, but it's fine. We can work with it. I guess I'm more just trying to explain some of these panels right here. Right, maybe these are more kind of like fish scale-esque panels. I feel like bring up some of you. I was just making sure I'm still in the camera. I try not to rotate too much, but rotating is natural to me. So it's like, it's something that I kind of need to do in order to get the right kind of like stroke. It's always a funny word, stroke. Depends on like how dirty your mind is. I'll just break up this a little bit. Right. Guys playing any new games? For me, I've been playing, it's not new, but I'm into like not your normal type of video games, I guess you could say. I'm into very kind of specific, for example, like I play a lot of like NBA 2K, but I don't even play the online 2K. I play, there's a simulation mode called My League where you kind of work your own team and you make trades and sign contracts, and you can play the game, right? You can go in and play with the whole team or just one person, but I enjoy more of the sim aspect of it. But I also like skateboarding games and like BMX games, and you know, I play shooters and whatnot, but I feel like I don't have the last, I guess, like proper game any of you gamers would know is like, oh, there's a timer. Okay. I'm almost done, so we're fine. We can keep going. But Slay the Spire, I was playing that for a while. But the game I'm playing right now is called Sessions. It's like a real sim skateboarding game. It's got a lot of like style to it. I like it. So like for skateboarding, right, like let's say this is the top, right, with this banner, right, you flip it, that's either a kick flip or a heel flip. You can flip it kind of in your own way, right, based off of how you move the stick, and you can catch the board. And it's a lot to learn at first. It's a it feels natural but also doesn't feel natural. But once you get it, you can kind of, it's almost like art in a way. You can make each movement kind of how you want, or you can let it happen and react, which is, I've really just kind of fell in love with that. I don't like record any content for it. I'm not too interested in becoming a gaming channel, but I do enjoy playing the game. I'll play it like maybe about for like an hour after I finish my studio day. I'm trying to save some time for this to dry a little bit up here before I get up in there. I may have to turn it upside down in order to make this guy. Because I feel like that'll be the final selling point of this. I guess you could call it kind of like a concept sketch. Is this guy up top. I feel like we need a little bit of branding right here. What would the company be called, right? We're sending you into this lava to make this delivery. So let's call them like call them sunny bubbles. Alright, so now that is actually a real name of a shop by my area, but I think that kind of goofiness kind of fits here. Right, in no way am I tied to Sunny Bubbles, the actual real life company, because I feel like they're actually I don't even know if I want to say it, but they're bad guys. We'll just put it that way. It's a car wash company, but they are up to no good over there. We'll just put it like that. So no affiliation, but I think just the name and a little smiley face. Yeah, come work at Sunny Bubbles. We're going to send you into the lava cavern to deliver these pods. Thank you. Alright, so do I want to do this upside down? I don't know. It's a little scary. Right, I do know that this is some type of like paneling coming out. Not necessarily paneling, but it's, again, thinking about that, the zero turns, right? So it's just some type of like articulating post work, right? And where would that one be at, right? If we're right here, right, let's say I've kind of made all these go to around maybe this volcano area, so we'll stick with that. So if you're there, right, let's say the top is right here, you're going to be down here somewhere. Alright, and what I've got no reference for this person. We're just going to wing it. I feel like his hand is probably going to be right there. Right. I made it pretty big, but that's okay. It's fine because it, at the end of the day, I want this to feel kind of like, you know, not super big. So we're going to bring this through, bring it out like this, and maybe even darken it. Right, darken some of these. Maybe it's some type of like protective equipment that he's got on. Some type of like, it probably, I'm thinking almost astronaut-ish. Would that protect you against heat? Probably not. I don't know. I'm not an astronaut. I know it's protecting you against the cold. That's for sure. But it will look cool. Right, maybe it's like some type of simple, right? Keep this simple. So it can be a little bit more relatable, right? Because everything else here is like kind of wild. So having a little bit of relatableness in the art, it almost feels like a diver helmet, which I guess is kind of the basis for a spacesuit in a way, right? They're very similar looking. I do feel like that's weird, right? Like we know more about space than we do the ocean. I heard that fact from sciencey guy. You see him all over the TikToks and the YouTube shorts and all that stuff. Was it Neil deGrasse Tyson or whatever? I swear he said that at one point. I might just make this faceless. Right, that might be the simpler option, but also just allowing people to kind of think their own emotions for this, right? Like, would you be scared? Would you be enjoying this? Right? Enjoying going through this lava thing. I think if I was safe, I think it would be cool. But we all know how corporations work, so accidents happen, right? So of course there's some level of safety, but these shipping things, I've worked in the shipping industry, I know they don't really care too much about you, so this is probably, if this job was real, it'd probably be one of the more dangerous jobs out there. That's for sure. I think I just want to darken this whole thing, right? I might just darken that whole leg. Right. It almost looks like he's sitting on a toilet. Maybe there's no bathroom stops in the lava field, so if you're about to poop yourself, you just, boom, we'll just reinforce it. I think that's goofy, kind of funny. Alright, the royal toilet. Let's bring some, like, right now, you know, it feels different, right? Because I've used brush pens all down here, but up here I have not at all yet. So we'll bring in a little bit of brush pens to kind of like darken up some of these areas. And I don't know if I want to darken it at all. And I don't necessarily want to trace over all the lines, but we can definitely work in some of this. Right? Maybe I bring up the leg right there. That feels a little bit better. Alright, why don't we get like some of this going on here. Some people I have been studying of like mechanical stuff, Simon Stalenhag. If you've watched any of my Confident Shadow YouTube series, towards the end, I think it was video 4, I studied some of his work. If you know of him, you know that he's got like this really clean shape based style. It's like, it's realistic, but it's also like tricking your eye into seeing that it's like a full value range, because it's not. It's like 2 to 3 values on most of the paintings, a little bit more in some cases, you know, depending on what he's doing. But he has a very interesting approach to pretty much mechanical things. Right? He'll do these massive spaceships, or these like massive droids, or more something like this where it's like not massive. It's beautiful, but his style is very clean, whereas for me it's like I kind of deal in the chaotic a little bit more. Alright, so I don't want to go too much longer, but let's bring out just like, we're going to bring out an accent color. Now of course I kept talking about lava and everything, so let's bring out like this PM6 will be nice. especially contrasting with this green that's already on the canvas. And then I think we should have like, I don't know, maybe some type of like light blue, right? I don't know what the heck that says. B10. Alright, so where's B10? Alright, do I even have B10? Let's see. Alright, I'm not seeing. Oh, I'm assuming it's BL10. This is your marker, is what I'm assuming. Alright, let's just see. No, it is not. Not the same. Let's do PM47 right here. So I guess out of all these markers, I just keep gravitating towards the Prismacolors. Where are you? Here it is. PM47. Beautiful. Alright, so this is like accent color work, right? It's like I'm not coloring the whole piece, right? I'm just going to bring in some more intentional marks in certain spaces, right? Like this would definitely catch some under here. I could even darken almost. Well, it's not really darkening, it's changing the color, right? Kind of trying to sell this idea more of this lava. Right, this whole pole right here, I could do this right here, boom, and maybe even a little bit into here, right, just a little bit. Now him up there, he probably would get a little bit on this like glass, but not a lot, right, not a lot. He's so far away, and you know, it would have to bounce to get up to him. Like it can get there, but it's probably not going to get there as much. Now what I'll do is up here, right, we're just going to kind of like bring in this blue a little bit. Oh, you can hear one of my kitties trying to claw their way into my studio. I'm assuming that's my boy, Ghost. He's the only one that I actually let come in here. The rest of them, they try to eat my cords and everything. Whereas Ghost will just kind of chill, which is what I want in my studio, right? I don't want you trying to eat my cords. Sometimes I'll let them all in here, but more of when I'm just like coming in here super. Alright, so my camera had stopped recording yet again. So if I don't know where we're at. You guys have either saw me put in these accent colors or not. But we're going to quickly just throw in some white, right? Just in some areas, right? I'm kind of using it to break up some of these heavy blacks. I've seen a lot of like artists like Jim Lee do this, Jock do this. It's kind of a good way to bring in some form and just break up some of these areas, right? And so it's like I can use it to describe some things, right? Alright, that's pretty much about that. Like, I don't want to go too far into it. And I did have the idea of bringing out this Sharpie red to just kind of bring some opaque red into here. Right? And kind of use this to help further sell the idea, of this like lava glowingness, right? Definitely catch some of these areas, right? I'm not too worried about bringing this everywhere, but kind of just in some areas, right, to kind of help define some of these forms a little bit that got lost. Right, just a little bit. And it kind of brings the accent color, because I didn't intentionally choose that. It just kind of happened that this red was the same as wherever the red that I chose disappeared to. But I think that's pretty cool. See, we'll bring in just you a little bit, kind of fade you out. Alright, gonna do that, fade it out so it's like it's going into the form of all this crap. But it's disappearing as it gets darker. Okay, I think that's really about it. Just clean up some areas, right? Like I want to clean that up. All right, bring this in, and maybe we just kind of delete everything right here, right? Just darken it. We can use this to explain the form a little bit more. Try to get the idea that these are all going in here. And I didn't play around a lot with these little marks that happened. Just kind of left them. And I might just bring a little bit more of that in, right? Like, I think it'd be cool to have. Maybe if I like tap, maybe if I like squeeze and tap, right? Get a little bit like kind of this like gritty just explosion of stuff. Alright, we'll want to clean it up a little bit, not clean the drawing, but clean this up a little bit. So I'm just going to just do that on some areas. See, I think I want to darken this whole thing right here while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so do I want to do anything else? I could bring in a little bit of like whiteout. Not necessarily to like fix anything, but more of to bring some like little specks of white in some places. Alright, so this one, this is a big one, and but I got two of them, but this one's kind of like a little chisel. So the way it kind of comes out is in these like webby looking chunks. It's a little hard sometimes, but it's pretty cool. I like it. I also got a brush one that gives more like normal splatters, I guess you could say. Alright, so there's that. And what, we're pretty much wrapping it up right here. Usually I would like take this into the mirror, look at it. I would have already done that, but I just didn't feel like it today, so it's probably not a good excuse, but I haven't been too hot today, so I'm just kind of going with it. I'm just kind of going with the flow on this. And I just wanted something where it's like kind of stress-free. Just whatever, just do it. Right. So that's this. It could maybe even do with a yellow accent. I think I could do that real quick. Right. I don't want to choose something super light. Probably something like yellow. This Y15, or this is more orangey. This is more cool. This PM49. I think something more cool would fit this better. So we'll do the PM49, which is yet again another Prismacolor. I guess I really gravitate towards that. Oh, where are you? Here you are. Alright, Prismacolor. And I just want to use this on like this text right here. Now, at 8 at the pin markings, which is interesting. Let's see, anywhere else? Maybe just like in little spots, right? Just little spots, right? Like I don't want to color this whole piece. I just wanted to like, I will color this entire helmet though. Right? Kind of muddied it, which is kind of works for this. So I'm not really using this yellow as like a light color, especially because it keeps picking up on some of this. I don't know what ink pen it's picking up on, but it doesn't like it. So I guess it's kind of coming in as a mid-tone. Last thing I want to do, I guess we'll use the Sharpie, whatever. I just want to bring in a little bit more like marks on this pants. Alright. Just a little bit more. Clean up that silhouette. Maybe thicken you up a little bit. I really think that's about it, right? At this point I'm kind of noodling, so if you're noodling aimlessly, that's usually a good sign you're done with the sketch. So I'm done. Alright, done. Alright. Alright, so I think it kind of come out pretty cool. And it's interesting. Does it get across the idea of this, right? Like it makes it more, it feels more faster, right? I do like the little parts of the branding, right? I think that sells the idea probably even more than the rest of it, right? This tells you this is kind of like, it feels more construction-y, right? Maybe they're delivering construction materials into this lava quarry area. So, you know, they need something like this. And I think that's pretty cool. I might bring in a little bit of like white and just, right, it's not really going to be seen too well since this is all pretty much white down here, but it will like kind of break up. Alright, usually if you're just bringing in white like this, it's to subtly soften things, right? Usually. Alright, well there's that. You know, let me know what you think. See, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to sign this. Let's just make my signing like a branding thing right here. Boom. Alright. I try to sign someplace where it's a little bit harder for my signature to be removed, but not like up in the way, right? Like I could just put here in the corner, but if I hide it in the artwork, I feel like it's harder for scalpers to take my stuff. But you know, that is what it is. Alright, let me know what you think about this. Well, I guess we're about to go into the outro. Let's go to the outro. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed that video. Ghost is still with me. Fun little sketch. I really like it. I'm not really used to doing like mechanical stuff. Like I said in the video, I've been drawing construction equipment a lot recently. That has really improved like my visual library. So drawing all the time does help. Look at that. I can't believe it. But yeah, man, if y'all liked it, give me a like, subscribe, whatever the rest of the YouTubers say. Peace.